Today we're going to do something a little different because I am actually going to follow a recipe. It's going to be for something that I have never made before. And on top of all that, I have a special guest in the studio with me today. This is the birthday girl, Julie. This weekend is her birthday. I'm going to make one of her favorite things from New York City, which is black and white cookies. And I've never made them before, and neither has she. And in her kitchen in Chicago, she's going to join us on this journey and probably advise me along the way. As usual, I have my Tupperware lined up with all my ingredients ready to go, and we're going to start with the dry ingredients. And today, I'm actually going to separate my dry ingredients from my wet ingredients and follow an actual recipe. So here we go. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. So how much flour do we need?
2 cups.
2 cups of flour. 1. This recipe calls for baking powder and baking soda, so we have both here. I know this is going to be surprising to many, but I actually even have measuring spoons today. This is huge. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Let me share with you that my mini-me also has Tupperware. And this is one of my old containers that I gifted to her. So she's got the really nice labels, and I have the handwritten. You know, I've brought out the 1/4 teaspoon for this, and I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so now we just stir the dries, and we get it standing by. We have our butter softened and ready to go, 1 stick, and we're going to do 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to take my 1 cup and just do a little less. Sorry, that's the way it goes. Now we're going to hit it with a mixer. I usually do this part by hand, but it says to do it with a mixer, so I'm following the recipe. Using the mixer, you'll see that the butter and sugar cream is very crumbly. So now we have to add our eggs to get this to be a nice smooth texture. So 1 at a time, we beat in an egg and then we hit it with a mixer. Starting to get creamy. And now our second egg goes in. So once we have our butter mixture nice and fluffy, we're going to set that aside and we're going to mix together another bowl of wet ingredients. So this is a 3-bowl recipe. You know, I like a 1-bowl recipe, but we're going with a 3-bowl recipe today. So what we're going to put into this 3rd bowl is 1/3 cup of sour cream and 1/3 cup of whole milk. And what I just learned from my assistant over here is that sour cream combined with whole milk becomes a substitute for buttermilk. So if you have a recipe that calls for buttermilk, this is a really good substitute. So this is 1/3. I'm going to do 1/3 on the whole milk. There's a lot of containers needed for the whoop! Let's just keep going. That's what I do. All right, let's get this too. So I have that, and I have the sour cream. I'm going to stir it together. Penzeys vanilla. I'm just going to pour some in. I can't be dealing with the measurements. Okay. Then I'm going to do my Penzeys almond extract. And almond extract is very strong, so I'm going to go a little less on the almond. Okay, and then it calls for some zest of a lemon. This is what I learned about lemon zest. You only want to grate the very edge of it. If you get to the part that's white, just underneath the yellow, that's the bitter part of the lemon zest or whatever, so that's not the part you want. So, did a little homework on that one. So I'm going to grate, whoops, I'm going to grate some lemon zest in here. Oh, it smells great. Hi. I just zested the lemon right into it like that. I suppose you could do it in a separate bowl, but I just did that. It smells so good. So hopefully I did the right amount, and I'm going to give it a stir. I also would like to mention that I wore black and white in honor of the black and white cookies today, because I love a good theme. When I take a theme, I embrace the theme fully. We're going to take our butter mixture and we're going to alternate in the flour mixture and the sour cream mixture, alternating and slowly mixing with the mixer so that it doesn't fling all over the house and all over my laptop. So I'm going to pour some in, like so, and then I'm going to start slowly with the mixer, and then I'm going to start pouring this in. All right, good. I'll show you how it's going so far. It's going very well. So we've got a nice little blend And the goal is to do it and continue to alternate. So I'm going to do another third. I'll slowly start and then I speed it up because I always like things to go fast. Okay, here we go. And then I take my wet and I pour some of that in. Now for my last go round, I'm going to use the spatula. So put that. And I'm going to use a spatula to make sure I get all of my wet ingredients out of the bowl. So I'm just going to do it all at once. Goes against the directions a little bit, but that's okay. So now we're going to start. I'm kind of wearing a lot of flour right now in my pants.
So you wear an apron.
I don't have an apron. I might need a Mothership branded apron for my episodes in the kitchen. So what I had looked into is how to make the scoops round on the cookie sheets. And one article suggested an ice cream scoop. So I took this out, but I just don't think that this is going to come out of an ice cream scoop because it's a bit sticky. So we'll try one and see how that goes. I take my scoop and I'm going to see if it worked. That's amazing. That is it. This is a 2-inch ice cream scoop. Next one. Here's what they look like when I just drop them down. And I'm going to put these in a 375 oven. Those are going in for 6 to 9 minutes. And you can watch the clock for 6 minutes because I'm going to start doing the next round. Come over here and see up close. Okay. This is funny, right? To see how I do this behind the scenes? Okay. Got to do a few, you got to crank the little cranker a few times to get it out. There we go. For my last spot right here, I'm just going to make a small one by hand. I'm going to drop it down, take another peek, and these are going right into the oven. Okay, yummy. This is what they look like. They all do have the bump in the middle, and then the flat side is the side that gets iced. So now we'll make the icing. We need 2.5 cups of confectionery sugar. We have boiling water, and I have a tablespoon, and I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. And for this, I'm going to use a whisk. The reason for the boiling water, I believe, is so it doesn't come out lumpy. Add 1.5 tablespoons of corn syrup. So a little dab of vanilla. While the cookies were cooling, I had a little TikTok break. So I'm going to take a cookie. I'm going to take some white icing. I'm going to make a line across the middle, like so, over there. And then I'm going to keep it nice and thick. Let's get a little more on there. It's dripping right onto my counter, but that's okay. So I like a nice thick layer of icing on my black and whites. When did you first remember liking black and white cookies, Julie?
I just feel like you used to buy me one when I would come to work with you.
Aw. I am using all of this icing on my vanilla sides. So to be honest, I'm going to make a second batch to add the chocolate. And so Julie and I, and since it's her birthday, we love milk chocolate. So we're going to make milk chocolate black and whites instead of dark chocolate black and whites. Because usually we both only like to eat the vanilla side. But if we do it with milk chocolate, we're really going to embrace the entire cookie. Right, Jewel?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to use a combination of the milk chocolate chips and some Nesquik since I do not have any cocoa in the house. So I'm going to add a heaping, maybe two heaping teaspoons of Nesquik while I'm waiting for my chips to melt. That little double boiler pot is just the best thing for melting chocolate, I must say. They melt up so quickly, and it's so much better than doing it in a microwave where they tend to burn. I'm going to take my chocolate and add it right in. It's very thick, and I'm going to need a little bit more of the hot water. So when you add the chocolate, it does make it a little too thick. So you really want to get it to, I'll come over there and I'll show you the consistency. Liquidy, but thick. Black and white cookies are one of the things that New York is known for. And one of my clients from Chicago, whenever he would come to New York for a shoot, he always requested that we have black and white cookies on set. So shout out to Jeff Jones if he's listening. And now you can make your own, Jeff. You don't even have to come to New York. Here we go. Turn it. So I've plated my black and whites, and Julie has plated her black and whites. You started to eat one? Here, wait. And there you have it. I think I might have to dive into one myself. All right, give us a sign off. Bye.